All right, let's talk about heat pumps. They're becoming one of the most talked about home upgrades in Canada, for sure. But with all the buzz, you're probably wondering, can they really handle a tough Canadian winter? And maybe more importantly, are they the right move for your home? Well, that's what we're here to find out.
So, you're thinking about a heat pump, huh? Maybe you've seen them popping up on your street, or a friend has been raving about theirs. Or, hey, maybe you're just sick of that old furnace and your sky-high energy bills. Whatever the reason, you're curious. And trust me, you are not alone. To really get to the bottom of this, let's start with just one number. It's a really powerful one, and it comes from a massive survey of actual Canadian heat pump owners. 91%. So what on earth does that mean?
It means that 91% of Canadian owners would recommend a heat pump to a friend or neighbor. Think about that for a second. After living with them, 9 out of 10 of your fellow Canadians would give it their personal stamp of approval. This isn't some slick marketing brochure. This is the real deal verdict from nearly 3,800 households across the country.
Okay, so first up, your neighbor's verdict. We're going to dive into what 3,800 Canadian owners really think based on their day-to-day experience.
And wow, when you actually look at the satisfaction numbers, it is pretty overwhelming. I mean, just look at this chart. That huge slice right there, that's 64% of owners who say they're very happy. And if you add in the somewhat happy folks, you're looking at a whopping 89%. That's a massive thumbs up. So, why did they even make the switch in the first place? Well, for most people, we're talking 40%, it all came down to the hope of lower energy bills. But right behind that was getting great air conditioning and heating all in one tidy package. And of course, for a good chunk of people, helping the environment was a big driver.
So, did the reality live up to the hype? Let's get into the real-world benefits. What can you actually expect once the thing is up and running?
And here is the big payoff, especially for that group that was hoping to save money. 56%. That's right, more than half of all the owners surveyed said their monthly energy bills actually went down.
And this table really breaks it down nicely. If you're switching from something like an old electric boiler or an electric furnace, the savings can be huge. We're seeing nearly 70% of those folks reporting lower bills. Why? Because heat pumps are just so much more efficient at moving heat instead of creating it from scratch. And hey, even 60% of people getting rid of their old oil furnaces save money.
But you know what? It wasn't just about the money. The top 3 benefits people actually experienced were this perfect trifecta. Lower bills, yes, but also way better cooling for those hot, sticky summer months. And just better, more comfortable, more even heating in the winter. It's a total upgrade to how your house feels.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Any good guide has to be honest, and no technology is perfect for absolutely everyone. So let's talk about the other side of the coin and address the cold truths, the actual drawbacks that a minority of owners ran into. Now, the most common issue, and it was still only from 16% of people, was that the system was a bit noisier than they expected. After that, you've got smaller groups who mentioned things like maintenance, some ice buildup on the outdoor unit, and, yeah, you probably guessed it, that classic Canadian worry about how it'll hold up on the absolute coldest day of the year.
And you know what? That winter worry is totally fair. But the good news is, the data from this survey points to a very clear solution. So let's get into it. Cracking the Canadian code and how to get this right from the very start. And here it is. This is maybe the most crucial detail from the entire report. They found a direct link between how happy people were and the type of heat pump they bought. The owners who chose models specifically designed for cold climates, yeah, they were way happier with the performance. And this is what we're talking about. These are not your average standard heat pumps. These things are purpose-built for Canadian weather. I mean, for example, models like this one are rated to operate efficiently all the way down to minus 36.5 degrees Celsius. That's some serious cold weather engineering right there, designed to tackle that winter anxiety head-on.
And they come in a couple of main flavors. On the left, you see a ducted outdoor unit. This is awesome if your house already has furnace ductwork, because it can often just hook right into that system. Then on the right, you've got a ductless indoor unit, what people call a mini split. These are perfect for homes that don't have any ducts, or if you just want to add super efficient heating and cooling to one specific room or an addition.
Now, listen up because this is so important. The technology itself is only half the battle. The installation is absolutely critical. See how this unit is up on a stand? Keeping it elevated off the ground like that, either on a stand or on wall brackets, is a simple but essential step to prevent that ice buildup problem we saw a few people mention. It makes a huge difference.
All right, we've covered satisfaction, the benefits, and how to avoid the common problems. Now for the question that's on pretty much everyone's mind. What's this actually going to cost? Let's make the numbers work.
So the survey shows that for over half of all homeowners, the installation cost, and this is before any rebates, fell somewhere between $5,000 and $15,000. The final price tag, of course, really depends on the type and size of the system your particular home needs.
But, and this is a really big but, you likely do not have to pay that full price. A majority of people, 3 out of every 5 owners in fact, successfully used a government incentive program to help bring that cost down. And this quote right here shows you just how critical that financial help is. Over half the people who got a rebate said flat out that they could not have afforded the upgrade without it. So, looking into the federal and provincial programs isn't just a good idea, it's an absolutely essential first step.
So, what's the final verdict from thousands of your neighbors? It's pretty clear. Satisfaction is incredibly high, and the benefits for both your comfort and your wallet are real. The key to success in Canada, though, is choosing a dedicated cold climate model and making sure it's installed by a pro who really understands our winters. With all that in mind, the only question left is the heat pump your home's next big upgrade?